Hi, Internet and Melly. This is Casey, 25 and 52, and it is way too hot. So I had another shirt on over this, which was really cute. It was a blue and black plaid shirt that I might have stolen from my mom. It was very cute, but it is too hot for that nonsense. And for most nonsense. I had a day. I went and saw my therapist and had a Skype meeting with my new advisor and kind of decided about some classes that I might take this fall. You know, I don't register until like August 19th, so it's not, you know, quite make a decision yet, but we're getting there. Though Skype didn't work quite how it's supposed to. She could see me, but I couldn't see her. During that process, Lyndon decided it was necessary to be on my person, so she got to meet him, which was cool for her, I guess. So that happened, and then... Sorry, Denny was doing a thing. So that happened, and then I came home and became really overwhelmed by the world. So there's... In Texas today, there's some hearings going on, and so there's all of that, and, you know, Rick Perry announced that he's not going to run for governor again, which is cool in and of itself. It probably means that he's going to make another presidential run, which is not cool to me. You know, that's how I feel about it. And then I found and watched this video of the rapper and actor and other stuff, Yasin Bey, who is more commonly known as Mos Def, undergoing the standard operating procedure for force-feeding prisoners at Guantanamo Bay. I'll link that video in the down there stuff. You're warned. It's hard to watch. And you know that, yeah, hard. It's just hard. I don't think there's anything that anyone could ever do that would make them deserve that, or that would make it okay for someone else to do that to them. These are opinions that I have. Anyway, so I found that heartbreaking, and so needed to do some other thing. And what I really wanted was a green tea latte. And so I went in search of a green tea latte, which, it turns out, they have at Starbucks. Who knew? I didn't know that. In fact, you can get a green tea frappuccino, and it's real good. So I was going to meet my parents for dinner anyway, so I just drove near to where I was going to meet my parents for dinner, and got myself a latte, and, you know, read and scribbled and whatever. And today's video, as you might tell, is a little bit disjointed, because I am thinking an awful lot of things. I'm thinking about all of the things I've already talked about. I'm thinking about a really great article I read today on mattering, and how it is that we treat people as if they do or don't matter. And then I began reading David Foster Wallace's 2005 commencement speech for Kenyon, which is, interestingly, where I'll be next week. And I haven't finished it yet, but it's very interesting. A thing that he says towards the beginning of it that is banging around in my head is this. There are two young fish swimming along, and they come across an older fish, and the older fish says, "Hey guys, how's the water?" And the fish say, "What the hell is water?" And that's not really a story about, like, oh, you know, people who are older than you can tell you stuff, but it's a story about how you can be so soaked in something that you don't even recognize that it's there. Which is really true for a lot of us about a lot of things. And I think we have to do a lot of noticing the water before we know what we're actually doing. Those thoughts aren't quite developed yet, so I'm going to stop there on them. Other things that I'm thinking about today, in that other article I mentioned about showing people that we care, it said something that was interesting to me, and actually, I'm going to open this window, echoes some thoughts that I've had myself. Talks about how, pastors and comedians have one really big thing in common, and that is that our job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So I'm thinking a lot today about comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comfortable. I then also began really reading Gender Outlaws: The Next Generation while I was drinking my green tea latte, and so I was thinking about that, and I was kind of trying to compile all of these things into one reasonable thought, and I'm not there yet, but I do have some napkins full of scribbles. So that's cool. That's the I guess the big stuff for right now. I guess I'm thinking about how to treat people like they matter, and afflicting the comfortable and comforting the afflicted. Those are my goals. But the way that echoes something that I've thought about before is, and I've seen it with good comedians. Hurricane DeBolo does this, in my opinion, quite well. But also with rappers, and I've told you about this, and I know that this is kind of a weird jump to make from ministers to rappers, clear on that. But there's an interview in which someone asks Kendrick Lamar who a rapper he likes that nobody would expect is. And he says Waka Flocka Flame, who is, not somebody you would expect Kendrick Lamar to like. They make kind of different music, particularly because at the time Kendrick was still not very well known, and anyway, they make rather different music. And the person says, why? And he says, well, I think the purpose of music and hip-hop in particular is to make people feel something. And he does that. And certainly I would agree with that assessment. But so there is this thing about making people feel something, which is also a thing that ministers do. And this is a babble that I've had before. But, so those are all of the things that I've thought about in the past, several hours. Not all of them. I've actually thought about a lot more things than that. But that's a, snapshot, if you will. I'm going to have to probably make another video later this week, because I will be gone next week at Summer Institute with Barbie, having a good time. Tomorrow there is exactly 1 month until I leave for California, which is cray. That's all I got about that. I will speak to you later. I will see you on the internet on Thursday. I love you. Bye.